Dr. McKenzie, it's been a pleasure to shadow you these past few weeks, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to interview you regarding some of your leadership roles to get an idea of how you juggle so many functions, switching hats back and forth at a moment's notice. For example, you are an instructor and you teach 3 online classes. 1 minute you're in the zone, reading papers and grading them. The next minute you are advising a student in a different class. Then the phone rings and it's your team member with questions about this new competency-based learning class you're developing. How do you keep everything straight?
Well, it's not easy. Some days it gets very hectic in here, and I've learned just to kind of go with the flow. When people come in here, or if I get phone calls, those are usually the first priority. And then I start working on my classes on a daily basis. But you just try and balance it all. It's like a juggling act, actually.
I can believe that. Well, I know you were a manager for the Delphi Corporation in Detroit for 30 years before you got your doctorate degree in management and organizational leadership and began your teaching career. What lessons from the corporate world can you apply to your academic role?
Well, I guess I could use the term of balancing and then reacting to things. Just to give you some example with Delphi Corporation, it's an automotive supplier for General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford. We went through yearly changes, and I think you and I touched base a little bit about transformational change and so forth. And in that management role, you had to learn to go with the flow, so to speak. One day you're doing something and the next day the policy or something changes. We had a lot of reorganizations because we kept regrouping, and you just learn to adjust and go with it. It's not the easiest thing to do, but you learn to do that.
Well, that sounds kind of like a lot of what we're doing here at Hodges.
Exactly, so I have experience at that.
Well, here at Hodges University, you are the program chair for the Branding and Marketing Department. You teach 3 online classes. You are the faculty advisor for the Business Club. You are developing classes for this new bachelor's degree in Branding and Marketing, and also creating a new competency-based learning class to start next semester. How do you compare your leadership roles for all these projects?
That's an interesting question, because I feel that my leadership role somewhat changes in what I'm doing. For instance, with the Business Club, I'm an advisor for the Business Club, and then the students, I want them to take the lead and show their leadership skills so they can learn some traits of leadership. As for the program chair, I have other administrative type responsibilities that I do besides my online teaching. So I guess I would say that my leadership role changes from one position to the next, and sometimes you just have to adjust your time, adjust your schedule, and again, like I said before, learn to go with the flow.
Well, there are only 24 hours in a day.
There are. Sometimes I have to remind myself of that because I have a tendency to forget that. And I do have to sleep at night sometimes.
Well, Dr. McKenzie, I appreciate the time you've taken out of your incredibly busy schedule to share with me. Thank you.
You're welcome.